Do I get one too? No, that's okay. Welcome. Thanks for coming this afternoon. My name is Dan Koch. I'm the artistic director of musical at Lyall, which is a series of concerts that we do throughout the year. Most of you know this because you come to church here on a regular basis, but for those that don't, that's what we're doing here. Oh, and hi, Joyce. It's nice to see you. How's Maine? Very good, very good, very good. We're really pleased to have the Lotus Chamber Music Collective back this year. They gave a really insightful and wonderful concert last year, and wait till you hear what they're going to play this year. It's fantastic. So we're really happy to have them back. I should also just alert you to some things we have coming up. On December, when's the choir concert? 8th? December 8th is the big community choir concert here. Definitely don't want to miss that. That's at 7 p.m. And then the week before that, so if you subtract 7 from, you get 1. So December 1st is a concert of my own music, my Christmas program. So that's at 4 o'clock, like this one. So 4 o'clock on the 1st, 7 o'clock on the 8th. And those are our last two big events of the year. We're a little intimate today. If anyone would like to come a little closer, that would be okay. I'm not going to pressure you, but they might. I don't know. And also, we usually do take a collection during the concerts, but I think because we're so intimate today, I'm going to leave this plate in the back, and if there's anything you'd like to put in it, it just goes to help us keep doing things like this. It just helps pad our budget so we can keep bringing musicians in. I'll leave this in the back, and if there's anything you could put in it, please do on your way out. We do have a lovely reception in the back after the concert, so you can meet the artists and just spend some time gathered together. That's about all I have to say, and please enjoy.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for being here and coming to our concert on this kind of cold and rainy day. My name is Sasha Ono, and I'm the artistic director and founder of Lotus Chamber Music Collective. And what it means to be a collective is that basically I get to play with all of the friends that I love to play with. So I will introduce all of the musicians as we go along through the concert. Today's concert is all based around folk music. So we have some really exciting brand new pieces that we commissioned from a fiddle player who plays a lot of bluegrass music and Appalachian-inspired fiddle music and Southern-inspired fiddle music. We have some folk songs in counterpoint by a composer named Florence B. Price, who took these amazing African-American spirituals and folk songs and put them in a really beautiful classical setting that just showed off on her amazing compositional skills and really showcases the musicians. So we're going to start with one of her songs. And the first one we're going to play is called Calvary. And you might have heard this song before, and we're going to just sample it for you. So our lovely violist, Midori, has the solo at some point. So. So we end up passing that melody around. So you'll hear, see if you can kind of visualize where the melody is traveling to. It starts off with Tiffany playing, to give you a hint, Tiffany starts playing it and then it gets passed along and kind of transforms through the whole piece. So enjoy Calvary. So our next song in the same series is from Oh My Darling Clementine. Does anybody know this song? I'm not a great singer, but maybe Tiffany can demonstrate the melody for Oh My Darling Clementine. So that's Oh My Darling Clementine, or actually Hafez, who's also playing violin, introduced us to a different version that he learned in elementary school called
Found a Peanut.
Found a Peanut. So here's Oh My Darling Clementine, or I Found a Peanut. So we're going to rearrange ourselves a little bit for the next song, which is a trio for violin, viola, and cello. And this is a world premiere. This is the first time it's ever being performed. I asked a friend of mine, Caitlin Rates, who I went to school with, and she's classically trained, but somewhere in college she got really interested in fiddle music, and she is an amazing fiddle cello player and composer. So she wrote this piece just for us, and it's really exciting working on a new piece of music with a living composer, because whenever we had any questions like, oh, how should this part go, or should we really be playing it this fast, we just sent her a text message during rehearsal and she'd get right back to us. So that was, it was a really exciting process to work on this piece with her. And she titled this piece Cumberland Rising. And it has this beautiful kind of underlying, what would you say, like a train or underlying rhythm that goes through the whole piece. So that was Cumberland Rising by Caitlin Rates. That piece for me just evoked a lot of imagery of like vast landscapes, and it was so wonderful to work on and really get an arm workout for all of us rehearsing this piece. So the next piece we have is also by Caitlin Rates, and this is also a premiere. This past year, Lotus Chamber Music Collective has been commissioning pieces specifically from women composers, because we felt like a lot of the repertoire that we play kind of the top 100s of classical chamber music all the time, and we're looking for a new challenge and really trying to uplift the voices and stories of women. And the way that we can do that as musicians is by commissioning new works of music by women composers. So this next piece is called Thistle and Lace, and it uses a lot of harmonics on the instrument. So that produces a really clear kind of bell tone from these different instruments that you hear. So here's Thistle and Lace. So we are going to take maybe a 5-minute stretch and to just rearrange our chairs and such. And if any questions or imagery come to mind as you're listening to these pieces, we would love to hear about it. So stretch your legs and move around, and we're going to move our chairs around and meet back in about 5-10 minutes.
Could never ruin the music.
Welcome back. All right, so our next half of the program includes a piece that I'm not going to be able to pass this around, so we'll have to come up here. Maybe that one. The next half of the program includes a piece from a set of pieces that I found about a year ago and found so interesting. And Hafez, our violinist, is going to talk about this piece called Sophisticated Lady. So, the one gentleman will talk about the piece called Sophisticated Lady.
Obviously. Because I hang out with him so much, right?
Describes all of us, right?
Hi. So this piece is a piece written by a famous American composer named Duke Ellington, who's, famously a jazz musician and composer. And so jazz, is one of our American genres that was really made a genre in world music, which a lot of pieces, because the United States as a country is so young, we don't really have a lot of say in a lot of genres. So that was one part of why we picked this tune to be part of this program. Secondly, it was not originally written for string quartet, as you can imagine. It was written for, as a jazz standard. And this arrangement was done by an Japanese-American composer named Paul Chihara. And we also found it interesting because he, when he was a kid, right, he was a kid at the time, was actually in an internment camp during World War II as a Japanese-American. And later on in his life, he became a film and opera composer. And he still felt it compelling to arrange American tunes because he felt so passionate about such things. And, that's really kind of a beautiful sentiment to such things. And even later on, there was a musical in the 80s called Sophisticated Ladies, right, ladies? And he was chief musical counsel to the music in that musical. So, so we hope you enjoy it. Am I supposed to say something about myself too, or is that later?
Sure, why don't you tell us who you are?
Oh, so my name is Hafez Tagabi. Hi, how are you? I play violin. I'm originally from Maryland. I live in Danbury, Connecticut now, and I play music as my job. And I'm also a professor at the university there at Western Connecticut State, and run a private studio there as well.
Hi, I'm Tiffany. I play the violin. I'm originally from Arizona. I moved out to New York 2 years ago to do this pretty much all the time. I love it. And when I'm not playing violin, I teach violin. And so it's everything.
Hi, I'm Midori. I play viola, and I'm originally from San Francisco, California. And I moved out here 12 years ago, so I guess that makes me kind of a New Yorker now. But I also play and teach and all that jazz. So, yeah.
So you like jazz? Okay.
I'm Sasha. I'm Sasha. I play the cello, and I'm from New York. I grew up in Westchester, and I've moved around a little bit, but I'm a fourth generation New Yorker, third generation New Yorker. So.
Cool. Very cool. Ready? Ready?
So we are going to, sorry, we have a lot of choreography in this concert as well. So sometimes in quartets they have a first violinist and a second violinist, but both violinists are equally important to the ensemble. So we like to switch it up and keep everybody into it. So the last piece has been really interesting to work on as we've been expanding into other genres of music. We've been working as a string quartet combined with a jazz quartet a lot lately. And if you happen to be down by Arlene's Grocery on November 2nd, we'll be playing some brand new compositions written just for string quartet and jazz quartet. So this was a nice introduction to that. The next piece is back to our composer Florence B. Price, and she was the first woman composer of color to have her music played by a professional large-scale orchestra. So we were really excited to go through a lot of her music, and this one is called Drink to Me with Thine Own Eyes, and that song actually comes from a poem. Let's see, I couldn't remember his name. So he's the 17th century English poet, Ben Jonson. And by that title, he suggests that lovers find each other's glances so intoxicating that they have no need to drink wine. piece of the evening. It's from the same set, and it's Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. And it's a really beautiful, well-known melody. And as we were working through this piece of music, and talking about kind of how we want to express what she wrote, because sometimes the first time you play a piece, you can play all the right notes, and it doesn't sound quite right. So we started working on all of these little details about how can we really express the music and the parts as it is. And at least to us, it felt like Florence B. Price was going through classical music history and emanating all these different styles of music, from the classical period to the Baroque period of music, which is like Bach's music, and then to like Mozart's music, and to some more ethereal sounds like Debussy. And it has a really wonderful, exciting ending. So thank you all for being here, and thank you, Dan, for having us here. Please feel free to ask us any questions, and if you want to keep in touch with us, we have a little email list in the back. So without further ado, here's Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. Well, thank you so much for being here. We hope you enjoyed the music, and some wonderful people have prepared a reception for everybody. So yeah, please hang around and ask us questions, and we'd love to meet you.
Yay, music.
Oh my gosh, so I put the battery back in, and then it started doing this again in the off position. Okay, now it's good. Okay. Yeah, I like run down batteries with these things. Yes.
I saw one change.
And
I
then you
was
like go frantically
yeah, and I was
back.
like, was that supposed to change?
It wasn't. I love it. I love it so much.
We enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, this is my church, 55 years.
Wow.